tell you what, now promotions are exciting for the whole agency. They bring a certain positivity and that feeling of future potential. Different perspectives, new ideas, all those are really just all great things for the organization. Gathering a person's friends and family to support their achievements is really, I think, as an organization, one of the best things we get to do. You all coming out to support Alex makes the day extra special for him and his family, so thank you all for coming out today. Now, before I get too far along in this, I also want to make sure and recognize Alex's family. We all know nothing truly great gets accomplished without the love and support of our family. They are right there with us, thick and thin, triumph and tragedy. And that's the case with Alex. He wouldn't be here today if it weren't for his family. If you want to promote, you have to work hard. Pretty well known. That's the deal. That means time away from loved ones, though. It does. And Alex and Caitlin have a young son, Ledger, a baby girl on the way. It's a very busy time for a young and growing family. And promotion preparation makes it even busier. Caitlin filled the gap so Alex could hit the books, basically, pretty much. Caitlin, Alex, good job. You guys did it. Let's give them a round of applause. All right. We're glad Alex made it. We're excited for him. I have full confidence he's going to do a great job. Alex is smart. He's got a solid work ethic. He's what I call a quiet professional. Very impressive consistency that I personally really like to see. I'm a firm believer in those positive habits that we practice each day, help us grow and develop, face challenges, overcome obstacles, get stronger and better each time we go through that process, and I think that's the same pretty much with all of us. I had the privilege of sitting down with Alex last week, Tuesday. I got to know him a little better. I learned some of the things that were important to him and really why he wanted to be a sergeant in the first place. Of course, we talked about leadership. He's certainly been in a leadership role as a field trainer. Field training is something that we all talk about quite a lot. It's one of the most important things that we do here at the department. The field trainers take the baton from our great academy staff, and then they have a huge responsibility on their shoulders. They usher in new employees, new officers, teach them and coach them. It's really during their most formative years in the department. That's how important that is for our future. We talked about how you always remember your FTOs because the lessons they taught you were so impactful, right? Alex and I, we also talked about the role of a sergeant. Some of the challenges that go along with it. Going from a peer to a supervisor, yeah, that's uncomfortable. Can be. The occasional hard conversations that Alex will have to have. We discussed those. We talked about my expectations of a sergeant in this organization. Also discussed some of the leadership basics. Should all look at the basics, I think. Start there, really. Practicing good communication, everything we do relies and rests upon good communication. Should always strive to work on that. Empowering your officers to be creative problem solvers. Come up with their own ideas because we can't come up with them all, right? Giving regular feedback so people know where they stand. Acknowledging good work. A kind word reinforces when people are headed in the right direction. Pretty basic stuff. And of course, one business titan said this last one, developing your people, it's the highest calling of leadership. I agree with that. Communication, empowerment, feedback, acknowledgement, development, all of those things, they go into the mix of what makes a good sergeant that takes care of their personnel. All of those things, really. Those are the basics, and Alex and I both agreed you can't master those basics if you are not an engaged sergeant. What do I mean by that? Well, simply put, don't be a wallflower. Don't sit on the sidelines. You have to get in the game because, quite frankly, your department needs you. You can't set it and forget it and hope everything turns out all right out there with the officers. Because everyone knows this job is scrutinized really perhaps more than any other. And still our officers do a great job earning and keeping the public's trust every single day here in Pasadena. We should all be grateful and thankful for that. So Alex, you're stepping into a brave new world, but I want you to be encouraged, sir. You have a network of support around you. We all want you to succeed. And who will be responsible for guiding and shepherding Alex in his a brand new journey, okay? Likewise, for all the rest of the sergeants that we promoted in the last year, we've got pretty far down on this list, frankly. It's going to be the peer sergeants, number one, the folks that they work with. They'll teach them the ropes and show them the way. Also, the lieutenants will take a major active role in taking them under their wing and showing them all of the things and giving them assignments that will help them in their journey to grow, as I said earlier. Give them some challenges and obstacles to figure out. It's a great time to acknowledge our lieutenants. We have some of them here today. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you. The lieutenants, we have 10 of them. We have 10 sections in our department. Every single one of them are vital areas to the overall mission of the department. To do what? Simply put, fight crime, provide great service, and do whatever we can to take care of the people who make those first two possible. That's the mission of those 10 commands. Now, Assistant Chief Warren Kendall and myself, every single day, we talk, we huddle up multiple times, and there is not a day that goes by that we do not comment on what a fantastic job these lieutenants and their sergeants are doing in all of these areas in the department. So I just want to take a minute and say thank you all for that. It's really, really a remarkable job that they're doing. So Alex, you're going to be in very good hands on days or evenings or nights. Tom, did you give them the good news yet?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. The good news is all three of them are great shifts, so wherever you land, you're going to do fine. Definitely won't be evenings, though, I bet. I'm betting that. That's where you came from. So anyway, Alex and I were coming to the close of our it was a pretty long conversation. I asked him if he had any other questions of me. He said something very insightful. He said, "What advice would you give to your younger self as a sergeant?" That one made me pause for a second and say, well, I only booked you for an hour, so too many things to list, really. I have to get back with you. Maybe put them in a spreadsheet, do a PowerPoint for you. But seriously, two things came to mind, and just thinking, boy, if I knew then what I know now, do it a little differently. Sure. One thing I told him of the two things, probably one very important thing, I think it makes a world of difference of who we surround ourselves with early on in terms of your mentors. Typically speaking, it's a very natural process. We gravitate to those whom we respect and admire, okay? And I'll tell you what, I would have done a little bit different. I did the same thing, as I said, natural process, but I would have probably been a bit more intentional and expanded that circle to those folks who think differently than I do, solve problems differently than I do, and I think that would have actually gave me a wider view at an earlier time. I think it could really help you, and I think it's important. Under one condition, though, I think that process needs to be a positive process overall. Okay, what I mean is definitely pick people, Alex, who uplift you, encourage you, and inspire you. I think that's it. That's it, really. That's the trick. Secondly, just like patience comes with age and experience, I told Alex I would have told my younger self to listen more than you speak. You'll learn a ton more that way. It's been said many times, God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Maybe helps you get a little bit more humility as you go. As I said, I'm a lifelong learner in that regard. But Alex, as I mentioned before, he's known as a somewhat of a quiet professional, so he's got a head start on that listening more than speaking, and I think that's why one of the reasons he's going to do very well. Very thoughtful question to ask, Alex. Thank you for that. I do appreciate that. Now, without further ado, let's get to the good part. I want to ask Officer Alex Dixon to come forward. Stand right here, please, along with his wife, Caitlin, who will be pinning his badge. Had a moment of fright. I wonder if the badge is there. I'm going to read Alex's bio right before we do that, tell you a little bit more about him. Alex Dixon was born and raised in Houston, Texas. His background in public safety began in 2015 as a firefighter and EMT working for the city of Conroe for 3 years. Then, thankfully, we were able to lure him over to the police side. Alex came on board with us when he was accepted into and graduated from the 75th Pasadena Police Academy. Alex has spent the majority of his career on evening shift patrol after being assigned to night shift for his first year. He was selected as a field training officer in 21, has proudly served in this position for the last 3 years. In fact, field training was a big part of what inspired Alex to become a sergeant. During this time, Alex completed a rotation with the Auto Crimes Division. I see some of those guys in here today, which helped him to enhance his investigative skills, added some layers to his role as a field trainer, and it made him a more well-rounded colleague to his shift mates over on evenings. Alex has always felt a calling to pursue a role in leadership. He has a passion for mentoring, teaching, and fostering a positive team environment. Just what we need. Alex is looking forward to this next step of his professional journey. He plans to continue building relationships and developing himself so he can be of service to the community, the department, and to the many people who work here. Alex has been married to his loving wife, Caitlin, for 5 years. He credits all of his success to her extensive assistance and support, as well as her strong faith. Together, they share 3-year-old son, Ledger, and are expecting a baby girl named Audrey in October. Congratulations. Alex enjoys fishing and really anything that involves spending time with family. Alex is extremely grateful to all his family and friends that helped him navigate the promotion process. And as a class act would say, he thanks all of you for attending the ceremony today. Very nice, Alex. And now for the pinning of the badge. Ms. Caitlin. Round of applause for now, Sergeant Dixon. Sergeant Dixon, would you like to say a few words?
Yes. I just want to thank all of y'all for coming today. Thank everyone who puts these ceremonies on. They're kind of the unsung heroes. We have very nice ceremonies. We also had a quick turnaround with having to do one just last week. So I just want to also thank my wife, Caitlin. We definitely got here together. Thank you, Chief Wright and Assistant Chief Warnke, for sitting down with me recently, spending time with me, giving me words of wisdom. And most importantly, I just want to give all praise and glory to God for putting me here. So thank all of you.
All right. Last note. Alex is very smooth. He managed to squeeze in an additional meeting with the chiefs, Assistant Chief Warnke and myself. We had an event last week, a Tip of Cop at Roadhouse, some wonderful partners for a really great cause, Special Olympics. So we got there, the event was delayed a little bit, so we said, hey, why don't we sit down and maybe have something to eat? And it was Chief Warnke, and it was Alex, and they were in a booth, so I decided I'm going to go ahead and trap him inside this booth on the other side and make him conversate with us, but he got some extra. Very well done, Alex. All right, this will conclude our ceremony. Please stick around. Congratulate Alex. Wish him well. Give him some advice. Have some cake and punch. Thank you all for coming.